I want to see the kid play. I hope he's great because it's great for our job. But I can't sit here now just because he's killing people over in the Czech Republic that he's going to come over here and dominate. I just don't.
Victor Wenbanyama got drafted first overall by the Spurs in the 2023 NBA draft. Wenbanyama has absolutely taken the basketball world by a storm in recent months. Standing at 7'3", he got an elite ball handling skills as well as a lethal jump shot. Something we've never seen before. A player at his size, no wonder he's one of the most hype-up prospects in the NBA history. Let's see what some of the NBA greats think about the French basketball wonder.
The Dallas Mavericks legend, Dirk Nowitzki, had high praise for the first pick in the 2023 draft. You think you've seen it all, and then Wenbanyama comes around, a 7'5" guy.
I watched a highlight the other day and he shot a step back from 3 and then got a putback. I mean, who does that? You got to be skilled, you got to be quick to the ball. You gotta be long. It's scary how talented this kid is. So long, the skill level, can dribble, can shoot. Hopefully he can stay healthy. That's the only thing that can hold him back. I think everything else I've heard, he's got a good work ethic. He's a smart kid, he wants to be great, he's putting in the work, and we're all here to support him and see his full potential. We are all rooting for him. Hopefully his body holds up. Scary talent.
Basketball Hall of Famer and Dream Team member Chris Smalling is another big-time fan of Victor Wenbanyama.
Victor Wenbanyama is a unique talent. I'm really looking forward to watching him. When he came over to the showcase in Vegas, he really impressed me as a player. Someone we haven't seen the likes of before. When you look at his stats from Europe, he almost averages a double-double. He also has great vision and is very comfortable inside and out. He's playing at both sides of the ball. He has a three-point shot. The efficiency is also there. So, when you have numbers like this from a big man, 3 blocks per game, that is shot numbers, combined with all his other skill sets, I think he's a combination of a lot of players. There has never been a guy that plays like him. Really, a unique talent.
Wenbanyama is a player that has the potential to be an all-time great. But since his background is different than many other players, certain people want to confirm he can be as good in the NBA before jumping on the train. Charles Barkley recently touched on this topic, giving advice to Wenbanyama, while also making it clear that the San Antonio Spurs are far away from competing for a championship. Talking about Victor's comments on his desire for a ring next season. Stupid. Just because you are getting all this hype and you've been kicking ass in France all these years, that doesn't mean nothing. When he steps on the court next year, the Spurs ain't close to winning a championship, young fella. Y'all probably ain't gonna make the playoff next year. Chuck later added that Spurs are probably going to be the 3rd best team in Texas next season. Wenbanyama is something to behold, and the reason why he's as hyped as he is, but not everybody is buying it until they see him.
Tony Parker is one of the greatest players in Spurs history, as well as French basketball. As a player who was part of the Spurs under Greg Popovich for 17 years and won 4 championships with the squad, Parker surely knows what he's talking about when it comes to the franchise. I know he wanted to go to San Antonio, and so it feels like it was destiny with the French connection we built over the years. And he's going to keep the legacy going. He's pretty cool. He's unique. His set of skills is unique. You know, we never saw a guy, a 7'5" player, shooting like that and having the dribbling skills that he has and the way that he plays the game. It's just different. I can't wait to see him play with the Spurs. He doesn't care about the pressure and expectation, and I think the Spurs is the perfect place for him. He's in very good hands. He's already like that. Victor Wembanyama's presence on the basketball court surely feels overpowering, as he's a player with an ideal package of length, athleticism, and skills. This is why Gilbert Arenas had no doubt in proclaiming the Frenchman a bona fide star even before stepping foot on an NBA court. But Agent Zero thinks there might be 2 players that can cause a lot of problems for the young Wenbanyama. I think he's going to be a star. The reason is, there's only 2 centers that he's got to worry about. No, he's a Kevin Durant, but 7 feet. He's going to worry about Joel Embiid for 2 games and Nikola Jokic for 6. Wemby's no doubt one of the greatest prospects ever. Discussing the Frenchman's ceiling, NBA legend Kevin Garnett compared him to the two most recent European MVPs, Giannis Antetokounmpo and Nikola Jokic, in an attempt to highlight just how polished this prospect has been ever since his early days. Joker, if you go back and look at him, they showed it. He looked super regular back then. They was calling him chunky. We weren't respecting it. You remember Giannis's run? Giannis had one of the craziest runs. Giannis was looking like Shaq with KD parts. He was hitting threes, brought the heat. Giannis and Joker didn't look this polished as a prospect at this age with this kid. So he fits right into the narrative of what we're saying. During a conversation with Sportscasting News, NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal was asked for his take on Victor Wembanyama's future. The Big Diesel isn't ready to call Wemby a surefire star just yet, despite acknowledging his once-in-a-generation level talents. No, and I'm a bit skeptical because the good and the bad thing about highlights, when you put your highlights on, you always show the good parts. I want to see this kid play a full game. He's not very big, he's tall, but he's building up a lot of muscles, not that strong. He can shoot, he can dribble, he can do all that. I haven't really seen a lot of post moves. We haven't seen a lot of that stuff, but I'm only seeing highlights of him dunk the ball and shoot jumpers. So again, now you could be a star in France. When you come over here, you definitely gotta start all over. A lot of guys have a lot of hype and came over here, some played out and some didn't. So I'm going to be more on the skeptical side like Charles is on this one. Reggie Miller's another NBA legend who's super excited to see what the #1 pick can bring to the Spurs, but also worries about Victor Wembanyama's health. Using his own experience as an example, Miller pointed out the significance of avoiding injuries and potential effects they may have on Wenbanyama's promising career. My only concern is he looks like me at 7'5". Knock on wood, I was rarely injured through my 18-year career, only ankle injuries. But I played on the perimeter. I'm not banging with the big boys, but it's not as physical as it was in the 80s and 90s, so he won't be banged up like those days. I just hope he doesn't get hurt. I just pray he stays healthy. If he stays healthy and everything I've seen on videotapes and everything I've seen on scouting reports, if he plays like that, the future is his, so I'm excited for him. Considering how NBA-ready Victor Wembanyama looks, the 2022 LNB All-Star Game MVP has managed to keep himself at the forefront of headlines throughout the season. During a Let It Be Known video that was released some days before the 2023 NBA Draft, Hall of Famer and Pistons legend Isaiah Thomas sang Victor Wembanyama's praises. We got the Olympics coming up in Paris. French team Victor Where Your Mama At, or Victor Wem, I can't say his last name. Victor's gonna be the #1 pick in the draft. 7'5", 7'6", one pick in the draft. I can't even describe him. 7'2", 7'3", 7'4", 7'5", 7'6". You know, shake it between the legs, finger rolling it like George Gervin, slam dunking. He's going to change the face of the NBA. So Victor Wembanyama, let it be known. Chris Mullins' teammate who put the T in the Run TMC Warriors, Tim Hardaway Sr., shared his impressions on The Carton Show about Victor Wembanyama's talents. The ex-Golden State and Miami Heat point guard is highly impressed by Wemby's skill set and expects him to have a blast with the San Antonio Spurs from the very get-go. This kid is a good basketball player that's going to come to a good organization with a great culture, and I'm sure he's going to have a great career. The San Antonio Spurs got themselves a great pick and a great player. And believe me, he's going to be all right with San Antonio. Greg Popovich and the San Antonio staff know how to develop these kids and make them better basketball players. If he comes out and averages 20 points, he's definitely going to have 10 rebounds. They're just going to fall to his hands. And with his passing skills and abilities, he should be able to get up around 5 or 6 assists. So 20, 10, and 6, and that would be a solid rookie season for a prospect this good. Victor Wembanyama is one of those prospects that has gotten to a hype so big that has made everybody expect a lot from the kid. A slow start or simply an above-average season would be considered disappointing, as Wembanyama is expected to be one of the greatest players in NBA history. He's got the skills, the height, the work ethic, and the right mindset, so basically he has all the tools to become an all-time great player. He's left in good hands with the San Antonio Spurs, so let's just hope that the best is yet to come for the young Frenchman's career.